like any campaign, you have to keep it going. You have to keep pushing the messages. You have to reach as wide an audience as you can. And it was then talking with Sharon, Caitlin's mother, that Sharon wanted the message to continue. So between us, we came up with this idea of Caitlin's message. What would Caitlin say to new drivers today? What would Caitlin say to new passengers today? And it was really working with Sharon, being very sensitive that in effect this is almost a message from the grave, but a very powerful message. And that's how the whole concept arose. The whole thing about Caitlin's crash and that experience, it was very normal. It was teenage friends going out on a Friday night, going out for a meal, and perhaps not being used to the conditions. It was a wet road, but they weren't doing anything out of the ordinary. And that was the message we wanted to get across, because we've done some research that actually shows about 80% of people underestimate the dangers that new drivers face in cars. Most people still think the dangers come with knife crime, with gun crime, with drink, with drugs. Well, actually, if you look at the stats, you are more likely to suffer serious injury or indeed death being in a car or being in the back of the car. It's getting some of those simple messages to a wider audience. And Caitlin's message does that, I believe, in a really powerful way.
And of course, as well, what an incredible legacy that Caitlin leaves behind. Sharon will always say, Caitlin would be doing the same for anyone if this had been, the other way around. But it's a great legacy, isn't it?
Well, I do think so. And reading Caitlin's message, it really struck it home to me on a personal point. One bit in the message, she says, and I didn't ever get to go to my first music festival. And, my daughter, who's 17, who's learning to drive currently, returned from her first festival last weekend from the Reading Festival. And it really got me thinking that for Sharon to work with us, to share these experiences, I can't imagine what it would be like to lose a daughter like that in those circumstances. But what Sharon is doing for Caitlin is leaving an immense legacy that is truly courageous, it's truly brave, and it's creative, and it will make a difference.